Yo, in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 most impactful books that are going to help you attract more women and create an amazing fucking dating life. Make sure that you watch till the very end because I'm also going to include one bonus book that I have sitting right here, and you're not going to expect this book at all. Let's get into it. So the first book that I'm a huge fan of, that I've read actually last year and changed a lot of my perspective on dating, even as a dating consultant, this helped me understand women more, understand the dating marketplace more, is Why Women Have Sex by Dr. David Buss. I talk about this book in like every fucking video that I make, and it did 3 specific things for me. And if it did these things for me as someone who teaches men and consults for high-performing men and how to create amazing dating lives, I'm sure it's gonna do something amazing for you. So number 1 is, this book took me away from bitterness and frustration and made me understand the mechanisms behind the dating marketplace. So there was a lot of content coming up about how women work, essentially. You see all these red pill creators, and it frustrated me a lot because although I've experienced probably one of the best dating lives a man generally could experience, except for being a massively famous celebrity, I've experienced quite an amazing dating life. And sometimes when I would read content about women and certain female behavior, or I would even sleep with a girl who's like in a relationship, or I'd hear stories from clients of mine before they started working with me, I would just get bitter and fucking mad. I'd be like, dude, this shit sucks. Until I read Why Women Have Sex by Dr. David Buss. And now I don't get mad. I'm like, this is just evolution. And I understand female behavior and male behavior way more because I understand the evolutionary mechanisms behind these behaviors. Whereas before I did understand a lot of the psychology behind decision making, but the evolution behind it is a bit different than just the psychology of it. So Why Women Have Sex did that. And then it also made me appreciate self-development and personal growth even more than I already had, simply because I realized that as humans, when we're working on ourselves, we're either working within our evolution or working against our evolution. I think this can be good and can be bad. Doing both sides, right? Working in your evolution to maximize what you can acquire in life, or going against your evolution to help other people and make other people better. So it made me appreciate this way more. And finally, I just realized that there's so much scientific data behind dating success, actually. And this sounds pretty wild, but I'm going to say this for you here. You can exploit and leverage this data to actually get results. And if you learn how to exploit and leverage the data correctly, you can get results in how you interact with women and what you create for yourself. The second book that was extremely impactful in my dating journey and literally changed how I perceived the world, I read this pretty early on back in 2016, is Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. Now, this book, essentially the way I would describe this book is a starting point for masculinity in the modern era. I think that's what The Way of the Superior Man is. And it's the winning voice in the back of your head. It helps that voice that helps you win, that voice that says, I can do this, I can take action, I can attract women, I can conquer the world, I can be on my purpose, I can be on my path. The Way of the Superior Man contributes to that voice, at least it did for me. And it helped me in all my future relationships understand how to interact with women from a place of path, purpose, and tapping into my own masculine presence and masculine energy, and then leading women along that path, especially as a young man. So if you're very young, I would suggest reading Way of the Superior Man. Even if you're more mature, like if you're in your late 20s or 30s, I'd suggest still reading that book. But that's a recommended reading that I give to all my consulting clients. That combined with Why Women Have Sex is 2 books that I mandate everyone who joins our programs needs to read. The third book, and this one is not actually a dating book, but it relates to mindsets that will help you attract more women and build your dream dating life, is How Champions Think by Dr. Bob Rotella. Now, this is actually a book by a golfing coach who I look up to a lot. He's trained some of the world's top athletes, not just in golf, also in basketball and I believe swimming. And Bob Rotella wrote a book called How Champions Think, which explains the insights into high performance athletes' minds. And he's gotten athletes to go from being above average in terms of talent, being a professional, to being a master at their craft and literally winning championships and competing at the highest level. And he explains the mindsets that go into that. And something that I've seen is dating and learning dating success is at times similar to a sport in terms of the mindsets that go into meeting women. Not necessarily where each time is so challenging and you're competing against someone, but a lot of times in dating, you're competing against yourself, right? You see a beautiful woman, you know she's into you, and you know you should go approach. You're competing against yourself or against the environment, putting pressure on you not to take the action. Or you're on a date with a woman and you know you should be a bit more physical and should probably make a move. You're competing against yourself. So a lot of the mindsets that are in How Champions Think actually helped me translate into my dating life and helped me translate those mindsets and those belief systems into my dating life and changed how I viewed my relationships with women. One of the things that's so great about that book is it helps you love competition and love winning. And I found that in dating, loving the journey and loving the idea of winning over the woman is so valuable. Similar to, again, how in a sport, you win the championship, you get the prize, right? With learning dating success and connecting with women, winning this woman over and getting to the point where she's attracted to you and where she wants to continue investing in you is very similar. It's similar mindsets. So the book, How Champions Think, talks a lot about that. And success with women, I believe, for a man is a part of winning. It's a part of mastery. And this book just gives you some amazing tools to execute. Now, there's a bonus book that I want to share with you, and I have it right here. And it is, ta-da, The Setup by Mr. Dan Bilzerian himself. And my good friend and business partner, Edward, gave me this book. And it's very interesting because this book is essentially a look at the absolute limits of human hedonism and winning with women, essentially. And it's by Dan Bilzerian, and it documents how he essentially won with women and crafted this amazing lifestyle, not just with women, but with money as well, and going through certain hardships in business and life and his life experiences, which a lot of that was tied to women, because that's a huge aspect of his life. So the book was extremely motivating to me and opened my eyes into the reality of what could be possible when you actually take action. Now, I personally don't subscribe to building that exact kind of lifestyle of pure hedonism. That isn't for me personally. Aspects of it, absolutely. Meeting more women, doing parties, sleeping with girls, traveling in different countries and doing things like that. That's great to a certain extent, but still the path of mastery of I'm going to go for shit and I'm going to be better than every other man that I'm competing with and have women like me more than them, that was highly motivating for me. And I think if you're the kind of guy who wants to be a little bit more hardcore, you need to tap into the other side of success that's a little bit farther than where you've pushed yourself. This book is going to motivate you and wake you up. But it's a bonus. It's not in my top 3. And one other book that I'll talk about really quickly that I did not mention, which is an honorable mention, is The Sex God Method by Daniel Rose. This is more of a small PDF, but I give it to my clients to read when it's time for them to work on sexual mastery. But The Sex Guide is a great entry point into understanding how to connect with women sexually better, fulfill women sexually, and have them coming back for much more. Hopefully this made sense. If you want to learn the mechanisms and behaviors behind how you can attract 2 to 4 new women every single month without wasting time approaching endlessly, having girls that are not into you, or getting lots of rejections, if you want to transcend the bullshit of the dating marketplace and attract more women, I made a training explaining how you can attract 2 to 4 new women every single month on your terms and do it easily and efficiently using my model that I use myself and that I give to my clients that gets them success. It's completely free. I'm giving it to you as a gift. You can click the top link below in the description, watch this training, learn from it, and apply it to your life. Be blessed, and I will see you on our next training.